everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And this will be a View from Tracy's Point shorts entitled Sistas, Y'all Alright. If you caught my last video, I talked about the brothers that was in the news over the past week or so. And in this video, I am going to focus my attention on the sisters that was in the news. So let's start this off with last night's BET Awards. Now, I normally don't watch the BET Awards because they usually be crap. But I turned to watch Real Housewives of Potomac, and it was a repeat. And I was like, what is going on? And then somebody told me that the BET Awards was on. And so I went through the turn to the BET Awards and found out that a whole bunch of channels was carrying the BET Awards. And I think they may have done that in the past. But they were on about 9 channels. So the host for this year's BET Awards was Regina Hall. And, she had such a sense of humor. And I think she did a pretty good job. It was awkward at times, but she pulled it off and she came through. And as I mentioned in the Brothers What's Going On video, 50 was spliced into the show, and 50 was like he in Barcelona. It was already Monday, and since it was Monday, y'all know what that means. It's time to pay the debt collector. So he told Regina he need his money. So Regina didn't deny that she owed 50 some money, but I think if she didn't owe him money before, she owed him money now for coming on the BET Awards. But anyway, she did a good job. The opening, they kind of tried to mimic or put like a DC swing, because they was doing like a lot of shout outs to DC and how gentrification is just taking over. And they did like a homage, I guess you would call it, to Beyonce with her Coachella performance with the band and everything. But they switched it up and did it like go-go. And so overall, she did a good job. But the highlight of the night for me was Mary J. Blige. I don't know why. It's like when the old school artists come out, it makes everything all right. And so Mary J. Blige did an amazing job. She kind of like hit on all of her hit songs. She was still out there. I've never been able to figure out what is up with Mary J. Blige. Like, I always felt like one of her legs was longer than the other leg or something, but she was vintage Mary J. Blige. She was doing all the dance moves and, keeping up with the dancers. I mean, her full performance, I thought, was just awesome. People were talking about her vocals, but I don't think it really matters, because when you're in that feel-good moment and you're just loving what the person is doing and they're taking you back and bringing up those memories from when you've seen them in concert, when these songs were a hit, you really aren't listening to the vocals or paying attention. And she brought Lil Kim out. And so everybody be talking about Lil Kim and how horrible Lil Kim looks with all of this cosmetic surgery that she's had. And they post these pictures and you're like, oh my God. But actually, last night I thought Lil Kim looked like an older Lil Kim. I didn't see and it could have been the makeup. But she kind of looked more like herself. Lil Kim has a show coming out where she take her friends on a cruise. Now on that, she does look kind of funny and distorted, and I don't even know if I'm going to watch that show. I'll probably watch the first episode and see what it's all about. But anyway, kudos to Mary J. Blige, Regina Hall, and to Lil Kim for that performance. Cardi B did that song about I don't need no more press or whatever, but she did like a beautiful, I think that Cardi's stage presence, regardless of what you think about her, is always on point. The dancing is always on point. The costumes are always on point. And I actually can see Cardi B unseating Beyonce in the very near future. And I know a lot of people are not going to like that. But just from the entertainment perspective, I can see Cardi doing that. And so Cardi was already on my list of Sistas, Y'all Alright, because Cardi was indicted the other day. And so I think it was over some bar fight or something that she had in Queens, and I guess she had been called in. Well, actually, let me pull the article up. So this article is from the Good Morning America website. It says a grand jury in Queens has returned an indictment against Cardi B. The Bodak Yellow rapper was indicted on 14 charges, 2 counts of felony attempted assault. The indictment will not be unsealed until her arraignment on Tuesday afternoon, which is tomorrow. And it says the reported charges are a significant upgrade from initial charges that she was given. Previously, Cardi B had faced misdemeanor charges stemming from a brawl at a strip club in which she is accused of throwing bottles and chairs at 2 bartenders. She has previously rejected a plea from the Queens District Attorney's Office, which had signaled additional charges could be forthcoming as it presented their case to the grand jury. So what do you guys think? Should Cardi have just taken that plea deal or did she do the right thing? Like, personally, I think that too many people are in prison right now because they took plea deals for things that they said that they didn't do. So if Cardi feels that she's going to be exonerated, then should she have taken the plea deal? Do you think this is going to interrupt her career? What are your thoughts on Cardi facing this indictment tomorrow afternoon? And speaking of Cardi B, her arch rival, Nicki Minaj, it is being reported, went and got a marriage license on Friday, and that she plans to marry her boyfriend. And remember, this is the guy that she's known since she was like a teenager, and it was in the news, like when she first started dating him, that he has some kind of criminal past dealing with assault. So evidently she's okay. She knows the story. I don't take too much stock in, when people say, oh, well, they have these charges against them, because you really need to know the details, because there are a lot of people that have offender charges against them, and it was basically he was 19 and the girl he was dating was 15, and so they pressed these charges, and now he has to register for the rest of his life, that type of thing. So I don't really take stock in when people use those blanket statements, and I'm not really a Nicki Minaj fan, so I didn't even go back and investigate to find out what was the basis of the charges against him. Was it something like it was just the age difference, or if he actually assaulted someone. But anyway, Nicki says that she is happy with the devil, that she knows that she ain't not gonna try to find nobody new and start from scratch, that she gonna work with what she got. No plans about when the marriage is actually going to take place, but they have gotten a marriage license. And also he was in, she dropped a new music video or something called Megatron, and he supposedly was featured in that video. That video, by the way, has already amassed 19 million views. So people are still checking for Nicki Minaj. You guys let me know what you think. Is it just a publicity stunt because she knew that Cardi was going to be opening on the BET Awards, and so she wanted people talking about her? Or do you think it's just purely coincidence? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about Nicki Minaj going to get a marriage license on Friday. And did you like the video for Megatron that also dropped on Friday? And do you think that Nicki really should be trying to compete with Cardi B at this point, or should she just go on off and do her thing, because they're not even in the same arena anymore? And then let's talk about State's Attorney Kim Foxx. Okay, everybody's been wondering what's going on with Kim Foxx and this Jussie Smollett case. The judge ruled Friday the special prosecutor needs to investigate Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx handling of the Jussie Smollett case. Cook County Circuit Court Judge Michael Tolman ruled in favor of Sheila O'Brien. And remember, Sheila O'Brien is a former appellate judge who stepped in, and she had been filing all these motions. And Kim Foxx was trying to say that she's retired, she ain't got no jurisdiction, nobody has to pay attention to her. And then the Sheila O'Brien lady came back and said basically she does have the authority, and that any citizen that's concerned about a case can actually file. And so I'm thinking, Chicago, y'all need to get together and file some motions to look into how the whole R. Kelly situation came about. If any citizen can just come out here and be taking up the court's time to investigate these things. Basically, the judge, Judge Tooman is his name, wrote that the unprecedented irregularities identified in this case warrants the appointment of independent counsel to restore the public's confidence in the integrity of our criminal justice system. And so basically what they're saying is the special prosecutor can come in and if find that there were improprieties and that Kim Foxx did not follow the law in dismissing those charges, that new charges could actually be filed against Jussie Smollett, and he can still be held accountable for what happened. And if you've been following this case, you know that all these records and emails and text messages, all this stuff has been revealed to the public, and reporters have been combing through it. And then Kim Foxx, in response, after all of this happened, and all the news broke a couple of months ago about how she handled the dismissal of the charges. 5 people under Kim Foxx, actually 4 of them resigned, and then I think the 4th lady may have been fired or asked to resign, but she's lost like 5 staff members since all of this started coming to the surface. And so one of those people was her ethics officer, and she tried to throw this lady under the bus by basically saying that she approved her, how she handled, recusing herself from the case and then allowing her office to still work on the case, because I guess technically once you recuse yourself, you have to turn the case over to an outside agency to handle the prosecution, and Kim Foxx didn't do that. And so her former ethics officer shot back, and this is what she had to say. So Kim Foxx's former chief ethics officer, her name is April Perry, released the following statement in response to Kim Foxx trying to put the blame, well, not really put the blame on her, well, yeah, put the blame on her and say that she was following Perry's instructions when she did what she did. So she says, I have previously chosen not to comment on my time as Kim Foxx's chief ethics officer. However, in light of the state's attorney's press release earlier today, I believe that a brief responsive statement is warranted. And remember, this all happened, I think, Friday of last week. The state's attorney claims in her press release that she followed my advice and counsel with respect to recusal. On February 9th, 2019, the state's attorney made the decision to recuse herself from the Smollett matter. I emailed notice of the state's attorney's decision to assistant state attorneys on February 13, 2019. Following appeals supervisor Alan Spielberg's February 20th email regarding possible infirmities with the recusal, my advice was that First Assistant Joseph McGettis seek the court's approval and request a special state's attorney appointment in this matter. I prepared a motion and order to that effect and emailed to the First Assistant on February 20th. Shortly after sending that email, the First Assistant advised me that the state's attorney, Foxx, determined that the motion and order should not be filed. As I was unaware of any facts that would demonstrate an actual conflict of interest, I believe that the state's attorney's decision on this matter was within her discretion. It is a chief ethics officer's job to provide the best advice and guidance possible based upon the facts given to her at that time. Sometimes that advice is followed, sometimes it is not. Ultimately, the state's attorney has a tremendous amount of discretion on a wide range of issues, and we must rely upon the state's attorney to exercise good judgment in the public's interest. In other words, homegirl, you ain't fixing to put this on me. And we already knew that it was going to be some mess when all those people started jumping ship and, resigning and everything. And like, Kim Fox, come on. And I'm just waiting on all of this to like blow up in Kim Fox's face. But she, on the other hand, is out on the campaign trail. She's seeking re-election next year. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Kim Fox needs to come clean on Justice Smollett, that she needs to admit that she was dead wrong in the R. Kelly, filing those charges against R. Kelly? Do you think she's going to get reelected, or do you think that she's done nothing wrong, that she is doing a good job as the state's attorney in Chicago? And she is really pandering. She's doing what white people do when they try to get the black vote. She's pandering. She's doing the whole thing where she claims that she is, enacting these decisions where people won't go to jail. Like with Jussie, she claims that was part of her reform, is that instead of putting people in jail for petty crimes or whatever, that they do community service and they, don't have to face charges and go to court. I was reading a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, where she supports not criminalizing people for marijuana, and I guess she has a push to release people who are currently incarcerated on minor marijuana offenses. And so she seems to be really ramping up what she's doing as it relates to things that are often associated, not that black people do these things more than white people, but they seem to be associated more with black people in the black community. Personally, I haven't seen anything that she's done in terms of all the murders and the shootings that are taking place in Chicago, but she seems to have a plan. I think when she added those 11 additional charges to R. Kelly, that didn't go over the way that she thought it was going to go over. So guys, what do you think? Are you still in Kim Fox's corner, or do you think that Kim Fox needs to go? And here's a story that I didn't talk about. It happened a while ago. If you guys watched The Chi, you probably already heard about the firing of the main star of the show, Jason Mitchell. And then you know that the female character that played his girlfriend or fiance, Tiffany Boone, quit this show amid allegations of sexual harassment, and some other people came forward and said that they experienced the same thing from him. And so we never figured out exactly what it is that Jason did to the woman. Was it really sexual harassment, or was he just an asshole, just being a prick, like just saying stuff he ain't got no business saying, and just showing a disrespect or disregard towards women, which is offensive within itself, but it is different from actual sexual harassment. And then it came out, Lena Waithe, who is the creator of The Chi, basically said that after season 1, she stepped down as the showrunner, and that after hearing these rumors and everything about Jason Mitchell, that she decided to bring in a female showrunner to take her place. And then she didn't find out about these accusations until, after she had left. And so she was kind of like not taking responsibility for what was going on. So now Lena Waithe has come out and called out Will Smith and Denzel Washington for not financing films with black talent. So the people are already mad at her about the whole Chi situation, and then you're gonna come out and call out people that the black community really have a lot of respect for. And so of course the response was quick, but this was basically what Lena had to say in the Wire. And so it says Lena Waithe has a bone to pick with major black movie stars like Denzel Washington and Will Smith in an interview with the New York Times about the current state of Hollywood. Waithe says one of the biggest roadblocks facing young black filmmakers and storytellers is the lack of black financiers in Hollywood. Waithe, the creator of the Showtime drama series The Chi and the screenwriter behind Universal's fall drama Queen and Slim, makes note that no major studio has ever been run by a black man. And so, but even in the indie space, young black talent is struggling to get projects made, and a lot of big name black talents are not helping. Don't get me, and this is a quote from her. She says, "Don't get me started on black financiers." Waithe said, "How many of those do we have? I'm not going to name names because I know better, but there are some very high black movie stars out there, and they could pay for 2 or 3 or even 5 small independent movies to get made by black directors and black writers." Then she went on to ask, like, who produced Moonlight and 12 Years a Slave, 2 films that are very important to the black community. The answer is Plan B, a production company co-founded by Brad Pitt and run by co-president Jimmy Klerner and Dee Gardner. And so she says it wasn't Denzel, wasn't Will Smith. And I'm just like, girl, are you serious right now? Because we all know, and then people started pointing out, about Denzel Washington, and he has his contract, I think it is with Netflix, where he's going to produce all of August Wilson's plays and bring them, to television following the success of Fences. And Will Smith, we know, is getting ready to do the Serena Williams. I don't agree with him playing Richard Williams, but he's going to do the Serena and Venus Williams story. He's bringing that to life. And I just think that, look at all that Oprah is doing, even though Oprah be getting on our nerves sometimes. She has done some black films. And so basically, people were saying that Lena is taking this route to call out these black men to get the heat off of her about how she handled the whole Chi situation. She said, "You won't catch me making $20 million a movie and not paying for at least 4 or 5 independent movies a year. I do give credit to Ava DuVernay for trying to build something that hasn't been built before, but that's a lot on Ava's back." So even when she made that comment, it kind of like took me back to the whole Me Too Time's Up situation where black men just can't catch a break. And so it's like, how is she going to like try and build Ava DuVernay up and then tear down Will Smith and Denzel Washington? Like, where is she even coming from with this thought process that she's having? So I did a search to see if either Will Smith or Denzel Washington responded to what she said. And as of when I was doing the research, I could not find anything where they responded to her. And it's probably for the best that they just don't say anything and let their works speak for them. And then you got Tyler Perry out here like, girl, come on. Like, I think Tyler has done more work. Like, Ava has done more substantial work, like meaningful work. But don't discount Tyler Perry and all that he's done and all the people that he's given jobs to. And even then, Taraji P. Henson has even came out and talked about how Tyler Perry was the first person that actually paid her fair market value for starring in one of his films. And I think he paid her like $500,000 for the first movie that she appeared in. So I think that Lena Waithe is way out of line right now, and she needs to be careful and protect her own image, because people are still, kind of upset about the whole Jason Mitchell thing, and then you coming out here attacking these brothers. Like, I don't understand. Like, is that to make up for not holding Jason accountable for what he did to Tiffany or how he behaved on this set? I was just really confused by her coming out and making these comments. So all I can say is, Lena, you need to be careful. What do you guys think? Is she damaging her career, trying to do damage control? Like, or was she just having a bad day, okay, and decided that she was going to come for these brothers? And then our last story is Wendy Williams. Child, Wendy Williams, I saw on TMZ where they done rolled up on Wendy and she was in the car. And so I thought the guy that was in the car with Wendy was her son, Kevin. But it turned out that Wendy has a new boy toy and he's like 25 years old. And so when they were interviewing Wendy, Wendy broke down and started crying and saying that, the whole divorce from Kevin has been really hard on her, and that, she understands that her business is talking about everybody else's business, and now, people are talking about her business and she's the hot topic and she's going to have to just deal with it. But then on the other hand, she wished people would just give her the opportunity to breathe or whatever. And so then I find out that, the guy in the car wasn't her son Kevin, but was actually this guy that she's dating. And so there were pictures and stories surfacing where Wendy then took this boy out and this young man out, and she's shopping and buying him all these expensive gifts. And I'm like, no, Wendy, that's not what we're going to do. Then it broke that the guy is already in a relationship and that Wendy said she knew he was seeing somebody else and she didn't care, allegedly. And so I'm like, Wendy, why are you doing this? And I don't know, Wendy, this isn't a good look, but I blame Blac Chyna for this, because evidently whatever Blac Chyna told her when they hung out that night, Wendy took it to heart, and now she thinks she can be out here living her best life, doing what she wants to do, footloose and fancy free. But she also has to remember that she has a brand she needs to protect, and she has a show that is coming back on the air in a couple of weeks. Like, I don't even know why she on vacation after she took that long hiatus at the beginning of the year, but she did. And so Wendy, I don't know how this is working. So then an article came out in Celebrity Insider today, or yesterday, where Wendy says she's still in love with her husband. So I'm like, no, Wendy, no. So she says, my husband and I were partners, but I just had to clean the slate and start over. I'm good at this new role, at least I think so, but this isn't new for me. I met my husband on my 29th birthday. I was already a property owner. I was already a radio star. I was already the boss of my own life. I am returning to that life with a bigger platform, and I love it. She went on to say, I will say this, there was no one else that knew that I could do this. He, referring to Kevin, was the one who told me I could do it. When Kevin entered my life, he was 23 and I was 29. She puts on a big smile, and he was available. It was always me, my attorney, and Kevin. His name wasn't on the paperwork, but he was a huge part of that. Now I cheer for myself, but I'm still madly in love with him. You see it in my eyes. So you guys, is Wendy just talking, or is in a few months or whatever, are we going to see her and Kevin back together? Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below on this and the other stories that I shared. Rate the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.